What's up, YouTube? Brad Hoover from Rants here. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. All right, so this is going to be my Peacemaker episode 1 through 3 kind of initial reaction. I don't know if I'm going to do reviews moving forward with this series. I haven't decided on that yet about how much I like it and how much I really want to continue with it. That's still up in the air for me, but I might do some further reviews in the future of this show. But I just want to give my initial reaction of this Peacemaker series. Um, I made no bones about it. I absolutely hated John Cena's Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad. I thought he was just really a dick and not really a likable person in any form or fashion. So when we try to see like what happens to a villain after the movie is over, and we try to see like little aspects of his character and who he is, or who he wants to be, I guess you could say, and who he perceives himself to be. I feel like sometimes it doesn't mesh with the Suicide Squad, that version of him. Um, this show is clearly a James Gunn production. It has all the juvenile jokes, all the gore, all the sex, all the things that you and all the the dialogue that is just foul to the core kind of way about it. I feel like that's kind of fun, but then at the same time, I kind of feel like it's maybe a little too over the top. A little bit, and when I say over the top, I mean, when there's something that is like it's when somebody when you hear cursing, you're like, okay, well that's ha ha ha, that's kind of funny. But then after a while, when you feel like they're just doing it just to because they can, it kind of is like, okay, get some better dialogue. That's kind of the way I feel a lot in this show. I feel like some of the dialogue is really piss poor in a lot of different ways. I feel like the interaction that Peacemaker has with his team is very poor in a lot of ways. I really do. I feel like the team in general is really fun. I've really enjoyed Clemson Mern. I've enjoyed Amelia Harcourt. I've liked a lot of the cast of it that surrounds Peacemaker, but the person of Peacemaker himself, I'm still a little bit iffy on. Um, Another part of this show that I just feel like maybe the first two episodes they took to the extreme. They really tried to push the Hollywood agenda. The typical thing that you would expect in a Hollywood series or movie, where they're pushing, some kind of racial or sexual narrative. And then, of course, any show that is on a channel where they can get away with nudity, sex, so forth, they're going to push those limits. And that's been always a complaint of mine in a lot of ways. And it's not because I don't I don't care for sex scenes. I only care for scenes that feel like it adds to the story. And I feel like in a lot of these, whether it's HBO or any of these other channels that can get, or stars that can get away with these scenes, I feel like they waste a lot of our time on unneeded sexual intercourse scenes that really don't add anything to the overall story. That when it's that way, yeah, it does kind of piss me off in a lot of ways because I'm like, that's like 5 minutes. We could have been having something to expand the storyline, not just something there because you can have it. I don't like that, whether it be dialogue or whether it be sex scenes or any of that. I feel like if it's not pushing the story forward, don't have it. Um, but yeah, I mean, overall, um, I've said it before. I feel like John Cena maybe is a little bit out of place from the character that he's always portrayed, especially in WWE. I feel like that makes, in my head, I keep thinking, wow, that don't feel like what John Cena would say or John Cena would do. He kind of comes off as stiff in that way. He says these things that are like, okay, James Gunn, we expect that kind of dialogue, but then when he says it, it comes off really as rigid in a lot of ways, and that's why I say he comes off sometimes as stiff in this show. Now he does have his moments, and one thing that I absolutely do love about this show is we get to see personal growth in his character. From episodes 1 through 3, we get to see that growth. And if there's one thing that will attract me to a show, it's that. I don't like just a character just kind of being in this stale state where he just constantly this same, I don't know, stuck in the mud mentality where that he doesn't grow and he doesn't learn. But in this case, he really actually truly does. And that is probably one of the upsides of this series. I feel like there's a lot of hit or miss comedy in this. Sometimes I feel like they try too hard. But overall, I don't really have as much of a problem with the comedy in general. Probably, I'll say probably my biggest complaint is Vigilante, who is his sidekick, who I cannot stress this enough, reminds me of a Deadpool knockoff. Like he is just so bad in this series. I just absolutely hate that character. Wish they would have never even brought that character in. I feel like every time that Peacemaker and is trying to have a moment, whether it be with his team or whether it, Amelia, who is I guess his love interest in this, I feel like that vigilante always gets in the way, and it's just there for cheap laughs. There's this one scene in episode 3 where Peacemaker can't do a hit, and then you see just vigilante like, oh, I'll do it, and bang, bang, bang. I'm doing all this evil junk, and I'm doing it like fun, and I'm just like, that just kind of reminds me of Deadpool in a lot of different ways, and I don't really like that aspect of it. I feel like you can't have a generic version of that character. You just can't. And if you want to make this show going forward, you've kind of changed that character around a little bit because I feel like it just doesn't fit in. But overall, like I said, I enjoyed the cast. I feel like at times, John Cena is a little bit too rigid. I feel like sometimes they take maybe Hollywood agendas maybe a little bit too far, especially when it comes to race. Like they literally made his dad like a right wing nut job, white supremacist god. I mean, that just is like wow, if that's not on the nose, I don't know what is. In a lot of ways, and they keep always, like there's a lesbian character in the show, and they always just keep referring back to that, and I'm like, just let that couple grow in the show. You don't always have to be reminding us that she's a lesbian. Just let the lesbian couple grow within the show, and just let it be natural, let it flow, but don't just constantly remind us, hey, remember she's lesbian over there. Like that just kind of like drives me crazy anytime that they do that, no matter what it is. And I feel like they go to great lengths to do that. um but overall, I feel like episode 1 was an absolute and total dud for me. Um, I didn't enjoy the dialogue. I just didn't enjoy his character, John Cena's character at all. Episode 2 got better. Episode 3 was actually the highlight for me because episode 3, I had in my mind, if episode 3 absolutely sucks, I'm just done with this show. I'm just done with it. And episode 3 actually delivered in a lot of ways. Really had some, like I said, growth with John Cena's Peacemaker, growth with his, his team season, and really actual funny moments in this show that I thought, was by far the best episode of it. It actually gave us some villains that actually were, really tough and really made me, the mystery surrounding them made me interested in moving forward with this series. And that is what I felt like it needed in episode one, it needed in episode two. But too often, James Gunn goes for the juvenile humor over plot. And that to me has always been his biggest problem. And I feel like that is one of his biggest problems in this show. But overall, I mean, like I said, it's a mixed bag. Feel like episode three highlight. The intro to it is awesome though. The intro dance is just awesome. Most times when it comes to any show, I always fast forward past the intro if I can. I never do that in this. I actually enjoy the intro. It's actually funny. It's actually really good choreography. I really like it, to be honest with you. But overall, would I recommend if you enjoyed the Suicide Squad and you enjoy James Gunn's work, you're probably going to enjoy this show. Um, if you are probably a casual viewer, or you're someone who just knows John Cena through WWE and really hasn't seen anything beyond that, and probably isn't into juvenile kind of behavior or jokes and things, you probably won't like this show. I'm kind of in between. Um, I don't mind juvenile humor. I just want my juvenile humor to be at a low point, and I want it to add to something, which I feel like this show just kind of wants to just layer it in a little too thick at times. But like I said, if you enjoy sex jokes and you enjoy penis jokes and whatever, you'll love this show. If you're kind of somebody that just wants to see a good DC film or a good DC series, one like let's say if you enjoyed, Snyder's Justice League, probably won't like this at all. Probably absolutely won't like it. But you know what? Overall, after seeing episode three, I say, you know what? Give it a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna continue watching it for right now, and see if it continues to progress, which episode three did. Is there a compelling villain? Is there a compelling story arc that actually will keep me going in this? And will they maybe kind of cut down on the normal Hollywood agenda bull crap that they try to always put in every kind of series? I would like it if they would, and I hopefully in the future they will. But it being James Gunn, probably not. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think. Did you like Peacemaker? Tell me why. Uh, tell me why if you liked it. Tell me why if you didn't like it. Like I said, it's middle of the road to me. It's decent. It's watchable. First episode's not really that great to me. Third episode was a highlight, growth in the character of Peacemaker. So I mean, overall, hey, something to look forward to for episode four. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.